All right. Hello, everyone. This is unboxing Umbraco 8.13, which has just been released. My name is Rune. I'm product communications producer at Umbraco. And to my left or right or wherever you are on the screen,
this is somewhere. I'm Warren, and I'm a developer advocate at Umbraco. So yeah, good to talk to you, Rune, as always, and do these. What was it? Unboxing?
No, I think we'll stick with unboxing.
Okay, unboxing.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the new release. I'll just share my screen here. So we've got a release blog post out as always from Philip, which goes through the new features, highlights in the release. You can find that in the description of the video below, or you might have clicked on the video in the blog post. Who knows? But either way, you should be able to find it somewhere. Yep. But what do you say we just dive in, have a look at the features, and see if we can demo a bit?
Yeah, that sounds a good idea. I love at the top of the blog post is that this is most likely heavily driven from the community. Most of these PRs and bug fixes is like
definitely. I think like 95% of the contributions in here are made by community members. So it's really great release.
Yeah, it's awesome to see, especially as the D team in terms of the core team is focusing on Netcore and V9 at the minute. It's still fantastic to see so many contributions coming in for V8 and living and breathing and carrying on.
Yeah, exactly. And even though this might, I mean, it's a small-ish release, I guess. There's like 65, 66 issues addressed, both features and improvements and bug fixes, right? Yeah. So that's actually quite a lot. I mean, that's a lot of improvements you get. Yep. But it's still smaller in terms of what we've been releasing over the past 6 months, I think, which is also nice.
Should be more predictable.
More predictable, should be a relatively easy upgrade for those who have projects on lower versions. So a nice, small, neat package that we'll be unboxing here. So the first thing mentioned in here is actually a new data type or property editor that you can use to create data types with. Community contribution by Bjarne. And this is one of the things we can actually see. So let's take a look at what it actually looks like inside of Umbraco. So I've taken the liberty of doing a little bit of preparation and have added a property to the homepage. It's just using the standard starter kit. I've added a property here, and that contains the new data type of property editor right here, which lets you choose a color. It's called the Eyedropper color picker, I think.
Super catchy.
Super catchy, but it actually tells you what it is. So it has the eyedropper functionality. So if you want to select a color, you can kind of drop this one around and select exactly what you want, right? It also lets you set the alpha transparency on it, right? Yep. And it also has a palette. So if you want to do something in a bluish hue, you can start from there and then kind of go that way around. Nice. So a neat little tool.
Yep. Another thing that you pointed out to me, though, Rune, was that say you got a brand or design guidelines and you know the hex or the RGBA, that you can actually copy and paste that into the dropper.
Yeah, that's very true. So I should probably have prepared this beforehand. But let's say we want the Umbraco blue, right? Yep. Let me just grab the color from here. So we've got the hex color here. And in the color picker here, you can then go in, paste it in, and then you've got your color, right? So you can really kind of do whatever you want. If you have colors prepared already, either in Photoshop or wherever you're working, right? You can paste those in, or you can go in and choose a color in here that you like. So kind of a very versatile little tool.
Yep.
And
very nice.
It's really neat. Funny thing, it actually already exists prior to Umbraco 8.13, but only as a pre-value editor. So there is a color picker in Umbraco that lets you kind of create predefined colors that editors can select from, right?
Yep.
And you did that with this editor, but it wasn't available as a property editor. You could actually add to document types. So Bjarne, long-term community member, has now made this available as a property editor, which I think is
it's really nice. Yeah, it's nice if you want that flexibility between either having predefined colors with the existing color picker, or if you need full control, or your editors need full control in terms of choosing a color or color range, then this is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's really useful if you're working on, for example, landing pages that don't necessarily stick to the overall theme of a site, but has their own kind of campaign, whatever colors or something, that you have functionality where you can maybe change an overlay on your slider or whatever it is, right? You can really be more versatile in what colors you add to this. So I think it's really neat. It also has a little bit of configuration that you can set. So if we go to the document type and open up the data type configuration here, you can see we can choose whether we want to be able to select the alpha settings on it. And you can also hide the big palette. So let's just try and do that so you can see how it looks. So if you don't need that functionality, you can hide these things. So, and you just get the eyedropper part of it, right?
Yeah, very nice. Showing just the flexibility of Umbraco in general again. Super nice to see.
Really cool. Thanks, Bjarne.
Yeah, kudos, Bjarne.
And next up, we have a copy member type. I was actually, to be honest, a little bit surprised this didn't exist. So the idea is when you have member types, that you can actually copy them, just like you can with your document types. Prior to 8.13, if you open up the action menu, you would only have the option to delete something.
Yep.
And again, this is also from Bjarne. He's added the ability to actually copy your member type.
Yep. I could imagine before this was very painful in terms of if you had a very similar member type and just a few varying properties between the types. This was a tedious task to do. Like you say, I'm surprised it's been this long since we've had this feature. So, again, kudos, Bjarne.
I think it's a real time saver for projects that have a lot of members and work with different or a lot of different member types, right? Really, really neat. Otherwise, you'd have to, I don't know, script your way out of it or database things or like.
Yeah.
This is way better, way more safe, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So really neat. I mean, there's not a lot to show there, but you can now copy your member types. I love it. I think it's awesome.
Ta-da! Yeah, nice.
Really cool. Another feature we've got in this release is the content dashboard has been made available for all back office users. So just so everyone knows what we're talking about, in the content section, we've got this content dashboard, the getting started dashboard. Previously, this was only available to admins out of the box,
that's
I think, right?
Yeah.
And now it's available for all back office users out of the box. And it's a dynamic thing. So other than having links to or some useful links down here at the bottom to community and Umbraco TV and stuff like that, we also put news on there. So right now it's highlighting that Code Garden is happening soon. We've got the back office community team starting up, right? So it has various sort of Umbraco news stories that people might be interested in.
Yep, and hopefully it's not going to be something that you will want to disable just because the content will be obviously super interesting. But yeah, if you're, for whatever reason, you could disable it, couldn't you? With an app setting key?
Yeah. There is, I think it's mentioned in the blog post as well. So
there it is. Allow content dashboard access to all users.
That's a mouthful, but it's also an app setting.
Yep.
And if you set that to false, it'll revoke the access for the back office user. So pretty easy to turn off. And also, I think it's important to note that it will not affect existing projects. So it's not like if you upgrade to 8.13, it's just going to kind of override whatever permissions you've set dashboard-wise. We're not going
no surprises for your end customers or clients who are going to log in next time and then go, what's this? So
exactly. So it's just a new default, I guess you could say, and then you can kind of do with it what you want. But neat little addition as well. That one is not community created. It's been made in-house, you could say.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And aside from that, that's kind of what we've got on the feature side of things. The release, once again, I think, I don't know, probably the 10th release in a row or something like that.
I can't keep up anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy. The accessibility team has been hard at work again, and I think there's 6+ improvements to accessibility. Updating everything from the image cropper buttons to be probably tappable, I think, or that might be in the link picker. But it's just making sure that the back office is good both for people with a disability that might use screen readers or whatever they use, right? But it helps everyone. It makes the back office a nicer place to work, I think.
Sure does.
Yeah. So high five to all those peeps for continuously improving Umbraco on that front. And we discussed this last time as well, but we've got another big round of performance enhancements. I think it's also 6 or 8 features, just tweaking things, improving the cache layer, database, things like that.
It's the stuff that you don't see day to day. It's all the kind of the lower down stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, this stuff makes the difference. This is going to make your site faster for your customers or your end client.
Yeah, your back office users or whatever it is, right? Yeah,
exactly.
So startup, boot up, and things like that. So really nice to see those things improve as well. And then there's also a ton of bug fixes. You can of course go to our where do we have that link? Somewhere down here, the download page on our and see the full list. Quite. I mean, we said it's a small release, but it's relatively extensive. Actually, there's a lot of stuff to dive into here. Yeah. So really great to see. And one thing that's not mentioned as a feature as such, but there's a few other things that we'd like to highlight. So I'm just going to stop sharing, and then you can take over from here, Warren.
Yes, I sure can. Helps if I had the browser open, didn't it? So you pointed out to me, Rune, that there was quite a new contributor to the Umbraco CMS project, and they've made
Lofgren, I think.
Yes, the zoom in. So yeah, Jesper has made a contribution in terms of the translation for the Umbraco back office, and this is a fantastic starting kind of contribution. So if you're a user or an editor of the back office and you're using a language is not the English or
i.e. Swedish
in this case, yes. Jesper has told us that this text here was maybe not translated correctly and should have been something has now been translated word for word to say do something else in Swedish.
Yeah,
which is super nice. However, I wanted to show anyone who's also interested in contributing some language translations on where they live and where you would do them. So with the project cloned down and in our folder structure, we've got the source, and then we've got umbraco.webui, and then we have the Umbraco folder. And then he has to remember himself, it's the config folder and then the lang folder. And then each of these XML files is a different language. So obviously there should be one for EN US. Swedish should be SE off the top of my head.
That sounds like what it would be. Or
SV.
SV.
Yeah. So the Swedish translations are in here. So I could open it in VS Code or a text editor. And then all of these keys has like an area with an alias and a key. And this combination allows us to translate pieces of the UI in the back office. So this is where, if you're seeing something that's potentially even missing or hasn't been translated in your language, that you could add a new key, or maybe the translation is a bit wonky. Maybe it doesn't really translate correctly. Maybe you want to update an existing translation or key, and then this is where you would come and find it. But in regards to more details on that, we have an actual documentation page, and we talk about the supported languages, and if you want to modify the core language files, if you wanted to do it just for your specific user, you can do. If you wanted to translate just in your installation of Umbraco for your back office or your content editors. But I think it makes most sense in cases that we're an open source project, contribute back any mistakes or improvements. And this is kind of the lovely, nice stuff that can be improved quite quickly.
Yeah, I think this actually, it's one of the easier ways to get started contributing to the CMS itself, right? You can of course also contribute to the documentation, which is also a great start. But I think these translation files are relatively easy to kind of get into translating them.
And I'm sure, like, if you see something in the back office UI, and now if you know where these files live, it's just a case of doing find and replace, or a find in your text editor to find that word or that phrase that is maybe slightly wrong, and then to add in the translation or fix the translation. So you say, super nice.
Yeah, and I think the way it works is that English US.
Yes, EN_US is the default.
Default, yeah. So that will contain all the translation keys.
Yes, all the keys. So if there's anything missing, you could copy it from that into your appropriate language file.
And translate it and create a pull request for us. Because there's definitely, we don't know all the languages. I'm not fluent in Chinese, for example.
Nope.
So you can actually go in and add those missing keys, find them in the EN_US, copy them over, and then translate into the appropriate language, right? So really helpful when people add that. There's actually been a lot of translations work going on. I think it's a couple of releases ago we got Welsh translation, for example.
I did not know we had a Welsh translation language file.
Yeah.
But in this release as well, we got a PR from Callum, Mr. Umbraco Coffee. He's fixed up all the inconsistencies in our language files.
A lot of them, at least.
A lot of them. In regards to casing in terms of Umbraco, back office, maybe it's 2 words, maybe it was hyphenated. All the kind of not trivial things, but this all consistency. It makes it a nicer experience if the language or the wording is always the same. Kudos, Callum.
Definitely.
And then we've got is this another Jesper? I think was another it's their first time they've contributed as well. So we've got some Danish translations. And I don't know where specifically that Jesper has changed stuff. Let's take a quick look. Looks like he's added stuff by the looks of it.
That's what we were talking about before, right? If there might be missing translations, so that all of these things that he's added would have been in English. Even though you had set the user language to Danish, right? But he's gone in and added these things, so that's really nice.
Node is in trash, and content templates, dashboard. There's some create description, and now my coffee machine is now going off.
That's wonderful.
Perfect timing. And on that note, I'll mute and hand it back to you, Rune.
Thanks. That's awesome. Thanks for demoing that. But I think that's pretty much it for the release here. So I think we will kind of wrap it up. We can take a quick peek at the list of contributors here. So as we mentioned, a lot of the contributions or features and improvements in this release are made by the community. 58 out of 66, so 90%, something like that. Really nice. We've got 4 brand new contributors. I think we showed 2 of them actually with the translation files. So Jesper and Jesper, 2 times Jesper. And then we've got a couple of other ones. I'm not going to try to pronounce this, but congratulations, Unko, maybe. And Justin.
Kajite? I don't know, like you say.
And Justin Shearer as well. So high five, you rock. Really awesome to see new contributors come into the release. And finally, as always, with the new release, it's available for your Umbraco Cloud projects. You can go in and click the little upgrade button. All new projects will be on Umbraco 8.13 there. And the release itself is, of course, available on the release page, on our and also on NuGet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look forward to seeing the next release and the next unboxing. It's going to be at this rate. I won't have to do any work, or the core team won't have to do any work. It's just the community 90% of the time these days.
Yeah. Great to see. And a shout out to the core contributors team as well for making sure that all of these PRs get reviewed and pulled in. So we do some work.
Yes.
Right, making sure that everything works and guide people and everything. But it's really nice to see that even though we have a lot of focus on 9, we can still add a lot of great things to 8 as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks very much for taking the time to walk through the new release with me, Warren.
No problem.
Let's do it again.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.